Hey everyone, this is Kate Weatherwise, your favorite weather girl, coming to you on Thursday evening, March 5th, 2026. It is just after 7 o'clock on the Pacific Coast, which means it's just after 10 o'clock on the East Coast. But tonight we're going to be talking about the Central Time Zone because that is where the severe weather is. That's what the focus of this weather video is about. The current situation in around the Texas and Oklahoma area, which is experiencing some severe weather at this time. But before we get started, really quickly, if you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe, share it out, hit the notification bell so you know my next video comes out. I'm going to be busy this season. I'm going to be out in the field chasing here shortly, but for now, I'm going to be reporting and analyzing from my house. So let's go ahead and get started. This is the current look at the radar for these storms that are coming through Texas and into Oklahoma, just northwest of Oklahoma City. This outline red box here, this is where the tornado watch is. There is a severe thunderstorm watch that heads up into Kansas as well. And we do have some severe warned storms, and then we have some tornado warned storms too. Let's go ahead and zoom in closely. Looking at this first tornado warned storm, this looks pretty healthy. It is sort of fanning out like a butterfly. And if we go ahead and turn on the velocities for this particular storm, you can see exactly where the rotation is, where these colors meet. And I'm gonna animate this so you can see even more clearly where these colors meet. Actually, this will probably be better if I put it on this radar. There we go. This is much better. This is where the red and the green meet. And right here in the middle, this is where the funnel is. And you can see that really clearly from this vantage point. And you can watch it rotating all the way northeast. Where the red and the green meet, that's where the tornado is. That's where the tornado is. And the debris ball is right there where that bright green is. There's lots and lots of lightning. There's lots of hail with this storm. There could be upwards of baseball-sized hail with some of these storms. Now, this tornado watch is set to expire at midnight local time. What I am thinking is that this is going to be just propagating to the east. And so this tornado watch will be replaced and will soon after midnight encompass, or maybe before midnight when it gets issued, will encompass Oklahoma City and points north and east from there. Now, Oklahoma City, you're very familiar. You are very well tuned to all this weather. We've had some historic tornadoes that have come through the Oklahoma City area. Norman comes to mind, Shawnee comes to mind, Edmond comes to mind, and also Hennessy comes to mind. Just there's lots and lots of towns. El Reno is a very classic one from 2013 that saw a very large tornado come through. Now let's go further south and look at these storms. We'll choose the radar that is going to give us the best vantage point and zoom in. You see too where the red and green meet. This is where the tornado is going to be located. And you see as it's moving, they're sort of coming together, but that's why there are two tornado warned boxes here. The first one was down here, and then the second one was up here, and they're sort of merging. And see how this yellow box just pulled up. Another severe warned portion has been added to this storm. Now, because it does look like it is merging together into one complex. So this tornado warning may be allowed to expire because it may be coming together and not quite going to stay as a tornado warned storm. However, the red and green are still very much apparent. So at the very least, we're going to see lots of wind, and I'm sure a decent sized hail. And of course, you see all the lightning strikes, lots and lots of wind, or lots and lots of lightning with this storm. So that's what's going on with these right now. And this is a good segue into the next, which is telling the tale of why this is happening, or why this is a dry line. This is a classic dry line. Back here, this is a map of all the dew points around the area. In Albuquerque, the dew point is 10 degrees. Down at the Mexican border, the dew point is 16 degrees. And out ahead of this dry line, the dew points are in the 60s, 62 in Oklahoma, 60 in Texas. This is a classic setup of what a dry line looks like. Especially this time of year, you have the low-level jet coming in, bringing in moisture from the Gulf, and then you have a low-pressure system that is sort of a trigger up here in this area with the dry line dragging behind it, and you get that low-level jet and the dry line sort of just help to make the atmosphere just sort of twist and create that spin that it needs for tornadoes and large hail and a severe weather event, which is what we're experiencing today, what we are expecting to experience tomorrow as well. But this is classic. I mean, look how dry it is to the west, and then how moist it is out front here, and right along this dry line. That's why they call it a dry line. This is the dry line, and this is where the storms are firing, right through here. So sometimes it's closer to the dry line, but typically it's further out, 50 miles or so, maybe 100 miles out from the dry line. 100 miles is getting it to be a little bit far from the dry line. Between 25 to 50 to 75 is like the sweet spot. So I wanted to show you this. This is exactly, the setup that we have here. Now, we take a look at this is the air mass satellite imagery, and you can see these storms, and you see this is where the dry air is. This is that line out behind it to the west, and these storms just firing out ahead of this dry line. And it's just a perfect classic setup that happens so classically only in this part of the world, and why so many people from around the world come here to do storm chasing in the spring and summertime of this part of the world, because it's perfectly placed and set up for those elements to come together and create this kind of situation. And it's not good. The people who live here are used to it, but it's still, it can be destructive, but it is, it's incredible to watch it set up. So that is what we have going on. Now, like I said, I'm going to take us back here because this is just such a very stark look at why we have this going on. But we will see, actually I'm going to go back to radar. We will see if this tornado watch is allowed to expire fully and then we don't get anything else issued. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think as the night wears on, like I said, this is pulsating. This must be considerable damage threat. Hail to 1.5 inches. This is why it's pulsating, because this is another new feature that has been added. This is like telling you this is one to really pay attention to. Severe thunderstorm warning, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Damage threat is considerable. 70-knot winds. And then there's also a flood watch for this. That's this green area. There's a flood watch for all of these thunderstorms as well. So that's what we have going on tonight. And I will be back with more updates throughout the evening, and perhaps overnight. I am 2 hours behind this time zone, so it'll be a lot easier for me to do more updates as we go along. But we will have sort of a repeat of this again tomorrow, so I will be back as necessary. But I will get this video out and continue to update. But for now, stay safe. And this is Kate Weatherwise saying Goodbye for now.